Okay, so I think it's worse than I thought. I thought we had spent $10 trillion in just, in just
$10 trillion. That's it. That's all you.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Only 10
So let's
trillion.
go back in 1 year. Now remember, our total debt from George Washington to George W. Bush, the end of George W. Bush, was $8 trillion. Okay, that's the Manhattan Project. That's all the wars. That's everything. In fact, all of the wars themselves, including the Manhattan Project, World War I, World War II, the Civil War, the Revolutionary War, the Spanish-American War, Vietnam, Korea, the Gulf Wars, all of those combined in today's dollars, so inflation adjusted, all of that cost you and me $7 trillion. Okay? Every war, every warship, everything, $7 trillion.
And that's not how much it cost. That was the debt accumulated over that time, right? Obviously we spent more than that.
Yes, $7 trillion.
Right.
We have spent $20 trillion on the Great Society.
Okay. So,
since 1965, $20 trillion since 1965.
So let me take you back in time a little bit here. This is going. Pat Gray joins us, by the way, from Pat Gray Unleashed on Blaze TV and Blaze Radio Networks. Let me take you back to early March 2020. They're starting to come up. There's a little bubbling about the coronavirus. Things are going on. People are asking questions. And the initial response, they pass an $8.3 billion bill to fight the coronavirus.
Wow, $8.3 billion. By the way, we're going to have an $8.3 billion bill. You'll be able to keep it in your wallet very soon. But anyway, okay.
I read that. It was almost charming. It's like
it was.
like a small town. Oh, remember $8 billion bills?
Cute.
Remember those?
Yeah.
Adorable.
Okay.
So wait. Just so you know, that was the first spending. Tonight he is asking for $80 billion just to be able to make sure that we can audit everybody that we want to audit in the IRS.
Just so we can take more money from the people.
Right. $8 billion for the first stimulus package or the first COVID relief package, $8 billion. 80 is proposed just as an increase for the auditors at the IRS. Okay, go ahead.
So then, a few days later, March 18th, 2020, we passed the Family First Coronavirus Response Act. That was $192 billion. People, it's hard to even remember this happened. Coronavirus, the CARES Act. The CARES Act was March 27th, so 9 days later, they passed a $2 trillion CARES Act.
Which was unheard of. Never been done in American history.
And that fast.
A year ago, never been done in human history.
And you might say, wow, $2 trillion, it must have been a long time until they passed another act, right? That would be crazy.
Right.
That's why on April 24th, 2020, they passed another $483 billion bill.
Yeah, but that was days after.
Yeah.
That was,
Weeks.
you're talking days, weeks even.
Yeah. And it still wasn't enough. Remember, it still wasn't enough.
Now, then we got into the election time. Really, nothing was passed in hardcore election time. We got to the election's over. It's December 27th, 2020. Then we pass another $868 billion bill, the Consolidated Appropriations Act of the 2021, which is one of the catchiest names
Yeah.
I've ever heard.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's under a
So
trillion.
that was the one. That was the one where everybody's going to get money and it's going to be great, and that's why you have to vote for Democrats because we have $868 billion.
Just minor correction there, Glenn. That was the one after the election was already over. So that one they had already.
No. Remember, it was used for Atlanta, for Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
They were making
right,
that for the
yes, okay, I see what you're
campaigns.
saying. Yes, they wanted $2,000 instead of the whatever it was, $600 they put in that bill. That was you're correct. Yeah, sorry about that. So that's total of $5.335 billion in that.
5.335.
Now we haven't.
That's what we spent last year under Donald Trump.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to Biden yet.
Got it.
Okay.
Wait until you hear this.
Now then, Biden has the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, which was enacted on March 11th, 2021. So then we have...
by the way, that is only That's only the second time the United States or any humans ever got together and said, let's spend $2 trillion. Only the second time. The first time it happened was a year ago. Then this year, they decided to do it again.
And, typical, Pat, typical Glenn Beck exaggerations. It was only a $1.9 trillion bill. Not $2 trillion. It wasn't $2 trillion at all.
Sorry. And really, what's $100 billion between friends?
Yeah. So then we have the American Rescue Plan that was enacted on March 11th. That was $1.9 trillion. We have tonight, he's pitching another $1.8 trillion.
This is different. Yeah. That's different than the 2.2 that is already in the pipeline.
Right, which is the infrastructure bill. Different, totally different. That's $4 trillion dollars, completely unrelated to what we're talking about. Then there was
it's 4.1 that he's doing tonight, isn't it?
Something like that. Yeah, it's a little over 4.
Yeah, I think technically. So it's 4.1 just tonight. Okay.
Then there was $1 trillion of administrative cost associated with this.
Well,
then
paper.
There was the federal
printing paper,
right? The Federal Reserve lending. Now that is another large. You didn't see a lot of bills about that, but there was an additional $6 trillion there.
Wait, what? $6 trillion?
$6 trillion.
$6 trillion.
Just the $6 trillion, though, not $20 trillion.
And what was that for?
Federal Reserve
that was
lending.
That was to bail out the big banks. Remember when I said a year ago?
So nobody's added that up, though, for us, right? In a news story, nobody's talking about that.
There are some stories who talk about it. Yeah. But that is...
Yeah, we've talked about it. Yeah, but nobody's done this. Nobody's done this. So since the coronavirus, our entire national debt that took us from George Washington to today is $28 trillion. In the last year, we have spent $19.5 trillion. I don't think there's a problem.
Oh, my gosh.
Do you remember when the national debt clock was around 11? And it was about to break even 10 when we lived in New York, and it was such a big deal. Oh, my gosh. We've doubled it, almost damn near doubled it. In a year. Where's all that money? Seriously, people don't have a concept of how much $1 trillion is. Okay, we don't have a concept. $1 trillion should change the world. And I have news for you. I think it is. I think it is. All of this money that is going out, who's paying attention? How much money is lost in just the accounting of $19 trillion? How much money is going to something that we have no idea and would not be for? I mean, this is the biggest theft in all of human history. And tonight, he's going to be proposing the $4 trillion that will take us up to the $19.5 trillion in debt.
You know, you think about
just new debt.
You think about 1 trillion. Just to put that into context, 1 trillion seconds ago, 1 trillion seconds ago was 31,688 years ago.
Jeez.
1 trillion seconds is 31,688 years. Just it kind of puts it into perspective a little bit. It's a gigantic number. Gigantic. You could spend $1 million a day. I don't remember exactly the statistic, but it's something like you could spend $1 million a day from the time of Christ until now, and you wouldn't have spent $1 trillion.
Now think of this. Think of this. Jeez. You might say that would be easy, but let's just say you want to do good and change the world, and your job is to spend $1 million a day. Every day, you have 24 hours to spend $1 million.
It'd be hard to do.
Okay? It would be really hard to do. Now imagine that you had $19 trillion to spend in a year. What size team would you need to make sure that money was well spent? What kind of team would you need just to dream the things up? They're saying that this is going to be the moon shot. We're going to do this in 10 years and return a man safely, back to Earth. The JFK moonshot thing. Except tell me what we have at the end of it. Tell me what we're going to be like in 10 years. They're going to say, and we will have begun to change the global warming thing, but it won't be enough. It's not enough. So in 10 years, we're still going to be having the same argument about global warming. Same argument. Because this is a scam. What this is about fundamental transformation of the United States, of our economy, of our education, of our communication, of absolutely everything. And we're sitting at home, not you most likely, but many people are sitting at home and they're just lapping up the free money. I mean, this is the time that Franklin spoke about. When the politicians figure out they can just spend all kinds of cash and just give it to people, the elections won't matter anymore. The republic will be over. Who are we giving this money to? $19 trillion. Is there, I think this is the problem. You just said it, Stu. $8 billion seems quaint.
We don't even bat an eyelash at $1 billion anymore. We don't even, that doesn't even sound like a lot.
No. And $100 billion is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.